Welcome back to Around the Corn, live from Lincoln, Nebraska, following a minor earthquake where we lost a little bit of footage. We apologize for that, but we are back and we are here with the lightning round. We are moving on to the senior circuit, but sticking with football. We're talking the NFL. We're going to start with Chandler. Chandler, who gets the nod of supremacy for the best team in the AFC?
In my opinion, the best team in the AFC is the Chiefs. Nope. Best team in the AFC goes to the Broncos by far. In my opinion, the Chiefs don't have what it takes to win out their division, and the AFC belongs to the Broncos. They can win the AFC championship, and they can go to the Super Bowl and probably win.
All right, Sam, your response.
I agree with Chandler, but he doesn't have stats.
Oh, but he gets the point.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to get some more right here. The Broncos are 22-6 with Peyton Manning. Their win average is 16.5 a game when they win. And when they lose on average by 5.6 points. Now, obviously, you can't get points in a game, but still, it proves that Peyton Manning has been a huge contribution to Denver.
Okay, but can he play in cold weather? Logan.
Well, it's between Chiefs and Broncos. Chiefs strong, Broncos did beat them, but I'm going to stick with can't decide it between the two.
Wow. Nobody on board with the Patriots. Mutes across the
Hey,
board.
Tom Brady doesn't have it anymore.
Oh,
In my opinion.
muted again. All right, moving on. So, let's move to the NFC. Who gets the supremacy in the NFC? Sam, you get to go.
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks for a couple of reasons. They have one of the best defenses in the nation, and their crowd support is enormous. At one point, they had the loudest stadium in the Guinness Book of World Records. So that's why Seattle has my vote.
Okay. Logan.
Let's go with Seattle Seahawks because, well, I mean, they're a strong team, and we still cannot get over the fact that the intercept touchdown.
Intercept touchdown.
Yeah.
The Fail Mary.
The Fail Mary, the many names for it.
To be fair, that was last year, but okay.
Well, I mean, last year
Against
carry
the
on.
Packers, as I might say, Chandler's favorite team.
Hey.
Mute for the Packers.
Wow.
Chandler, go ahead.
Let's see how this is run. Alright. I'm going to have to take the Seattle Seahawks third. Well, I mean, as the third person to take the Seattle Seahawks.
So that means we get points, right?
Because the Seahawks,
He didn't say he agreed with you.
these guys are only talking about the Seahawks defense. Well, that may be great. Their cornerbacks, their secondaries, they're all on PEDs. I'm looking at the offense. I'm looking at Russell Wilson, who could be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL given a few years. I'm looking at Golden Tate catching for hundreds of yards in a game. I think
Golden Tate came out today and said that his teammates are selfish and he's sick and tired of them using drugs and getting in trouble and getting suspended. So, we're going to have to watch that development.
I'd have to agree with that.
Okay.
I would
Really?
like to-
Seattle 10-1. New Orleans right there at 9-2. Carolina 8-3. Arizona 7-4. That's a scary team right there. Larry Fitzgerald. Okay. Let's talk surprises. Give me your biggest AFC surprise team of the year. Chandler, let's start with you.
I know exactly what's on all of our minds. Kansas City Chiefs. Who would have thought first 9 games win every single one? Chiefs haven't.
Andy Reid. Next.
Exactly,
Oh.
and I'm gonna add to what you just said, Anthony Fake Reality. That they got Alex Smith, and he was the leader of San Francisco last year before he got hurt and Colin Kaepernick took the stage. I am gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens, the reigning Super Bowl champions, losing big games.
Okay.
Joe Flacco just doesn't have it in him this year.
It doesn't have the blocking. Logan.
Chiefs. Nobody came out of the back. Nobody expected it. Never heard about them last year, and now you hear about them all the time.
Exactly.
But again,
Andy
Reid.
and Alex Smith. Andy Reid and Alex Smith are the reason why Kansas City is being such a stronghold right now.
Let's move to the NFC. Give me your biggest NFC surprise.
Panthers.
Oh, Sam, let's start with you.
Thank you. I'm gonna say the Panthers
Still Panthers.
because they weren't
Give the
that,
points to Chandler for that.
Panthers.
they weren't that great of a team last year, but they're
Any
they're
year.
1.5 games behind the Saints. And when you're 1.5 games behind the Saints and they're in your same division, that says something for your team and your prestige.
Okay, Logan.
Panthers, another team that came out of the back.
That's all you got.
Yes.
Okay. Chandler.
I'm gonna say the Panthers are the biggest surprise in the NFL this year. I mean, Chiefs might have gone undefeated, but still. And I know, Andy Reid, I know. But the Panthers, the last decent to winning record season even that they had hasn't been since 2000 or so when they went up against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Ever since even the creation of the team, the Panthers, they haven't been that great. They just are historically bad, and to see them come out 8-3 beating teams like the Patriots and the Saints, that's great for them. And I think they deserve way more than they're getting.
All right, let's talk some busts. And there is some dust on the bust. Which AFC team has let you down the most this year? Logan.
Dolphins.
Wait, that's some team. That deserves a mute. That deserves a mute. That's his own team.
It takes a man to admit. It takes a man to admit that you suck.
And the mute.
Oh,
I hate to go against my own team, but I mean, I was very disappointed to hear the bullying, and then the start of the season it was great, and then now we can't pull it back out.
but also I'm gonna add about the Dolphins being a bust. When was the last time they made a playoffs? So they're not really a bust.
Yeah, no point for that. Chandler.
Well, I agree with Sam, but at the same time, I'm gonna say my AFC
Well, then
bust
he gets
is-
the point.
I'm gonna say the AFC bust is the Ravens, because I mean you can't just go to a Super Bowl and then completely
Lost a lot of players, though.
They did lose a lot of their defense, but that's definitely a lot of the reason of the staff. The staff killed themselves. They shot themselves in the foot. And I mean, we all knew Ravens weren't going to be the team that they were in 2012.
Quick
but
question.
They still are doing worse than.
One word answer. What has hurt the Ravens more this year? The losses on defense or the loss to their signal caller and captain of that offensive line, the center, Matt Burke? Offense or defense?
Definitely defense.
I'd go with both, but if I had to choose, I'd go defense.
Defense.
Really?
Also, I still have to say my AFC bust.
Nope, you interrupted when out of order, so you get to. We're gonna go on to the NFC.
Who said him?
You.
NFC biggest NFC bust. Chandler.
Unfortunately, the Packers, due to the fact that they're 5-5-1. I mean, losing Aaron Rodgers, that definitely showed that the Packers are not the team that they wish they were. When you have one person running an entire team that's responsible for all a team's victories, I don't really see the special factor that needs to be there for a
But
good
what team is the team they're supposed to be when they lose their number one quarterback? Sam.
I'm gonna totally disagree with Chandler. When did the Packers lose in the playoffs last year? The divisional. When did the Falcons lose? Exactly. They lost a lot later. So that's why I think Matty Ice and the Falcons are one of the biggest busts in the NFC.
But they lost a lot of people to injury. A lot of people to injury. They lost star receivers to spinal contusions and all sorts, laundry lists of injuries. They're going to lose, if their situation isn't as bad as it already is, they're losing Tony Gonzalez next year to retirement.
So then you're
Battery dies on the field.
so then practically you're giving me points because you're agreeing with me and giving me more.
No,
stats.
he didn't say that.
Well, I'm
he agreed
still-
with
still
you.
he-
Logan,
he's
chime in.
fighting
Packers. Because, I mean, I have an older brother who likes the Packers, so I
Good
have to
man.
watch them.
Ooh, inside information. He has a brother that likes the Packers.
But he still
I got a cat.
Hey, he still failed PE.
Yeah, it's so bad.
All right, moving on. Okay. Houston 2-9. Nobody went with Houston. Pittsburgh Steelers 5-6.
I was
got Houston.
Okay.
Oh, Pittsburgh Steelers.
gonna say the Houston, but you cut me off.
Well, you went out of order.
No,
No, we didn't.
Sure.
All right. Sixth question in the lightning round. Who is the biggest bust in the NFL?
We already did that.
You already did. I mean, like, who would you
We
say
did AFC and NFC, but who you got for overall NFC bust?
That's not one.
I'm gonna say, overall in the NFL, definitely the Dolphins again, because, I mean, that's a lot of just everything that's been happening with the team, all that drama, that shouldn't be there. That's gonna kill a team. When you don't have a locker room that's as unified as, say, the Chiefs. Chiefs have a fantastic locker room. Nobody's got a better locker room in the NFL. Chiefs, I mean, Alex Smith comes out from the first couple practices only praising the locker room. You didn't hear about how good the team was. You only heard about how good the teamwork was. And that might be why they won so many games at the start of the game. They were such a team.
Won so many games at the start of the game.
I mean, at the start of the season, but the Dolphins...
Sam.
I'm gonna
take it
go
from
with
there.
the Houston Texans because they're.
Oh, okay.
Only because it was brought up.
All right,
No,
all right.
I have it written on my paper.
Oh, no, let's hear what he
Oh,
says. Let's hear
oh,
what he's
you-
got to say.
Zoom in. Zoom in. I have Texans.
You were,
Let's hear what he
And
has
it
to say.
said it.
I thought I just heard you say that wasn't one of
No.
the things.
Let's hear what he's got to say
Yeah.
before we get him muted out.
But because Houston,
No division in the locker room.
they were
The same
expected
locker
to
room.
be a couple. They were projected to be only 1 or 2 games behind the Colts in the AFC South, and getting the 5th wild card spot, the number 5 spot in the AFC.
Really? Nobody wanted to go. Nobody touched 3-7 Washington. Nobody touched the 2-8-1 Vikings.
We all know they're going to be bad.
Interesting.
That's not surprising.
All right, moving on.
Vikings. Vikings.
We're going to talk offense. New England, Denver, New Orleans, Oakland. Who's the best? Who you got? Sam.
You know how bad I want to say Oakland, but I'm gonna have to go with one of their bitter rivals, the Denver Broncos. For one, not only one, Peyton Manning. He is so good at spreading the ball around with Julius Thomas, Demarius Thomas, and also Wes Welker. Thank you guys. And also, they have Monte Ball as one of their running backs. And when you could get him involved, and get some play action involved, who knows? Maybe.
I'm going to stop you right there. He just had a couple fumbles in the last game.
Oh,
A little bit of a struggle. No Sean Marino's been looking good, though. Logan, who you got?
Saints. They
Saints?
were strong. When I watched them play the Dolphins, they just whooped our defense everywhere.
All right. Chandler.
The AFC, it's always been known for offense, and the NFC's always been known for defense, and this year, it's no different. I think there are multiple AFC teams with gigantic offenses, but I'm still going to have to say Broncos. Peyton Manning, you never see a quarterback hit his prime at 38 years old. You never see that. Peyton Manning, in my opinion, hasn't had a better year. He's got great receivers and a great passing percentage.
All right.
and also I've heard that he's not so kind to his older brother Cooper.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Last question in the lightning round. Last chance to get some points. Who has the stingiest defense in the NFL? Sam, go ahead and kick us off.
I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks because they got Richard Sherman, and he is just so intimidating. I mean, have you ever played against a guy with dreads, Chandler? No, because you're racist. I'm just kidding. You're
Don't
not.
know why that matters, but go.
Race
Okay.
card? Race card gets a
Race
mute?
card.
That's a flag?
Moving on to Logan.
You only play in the white leagues.
Well,
You played Boys Town.
Seahawks. They're
They're black. I didn't know that.
Chandler.
I got a point.
I'm going to definitely have to say the strongest defense in the league belongs to the Seahawks. And even though they're losing cornerbacks and secondaries to crimes and drugs and alcohol and all this stuff. They might not be a well-disciplined defense, but they're still able to put it together and shut down teams. When they can put it together, and once everybody gets their act right, they have the best secondary in the league. You never hear about the secondary. You hear about the defensive linemen. You hear about the linebackers. You never hear about the secondary. The Seahawks brings that extra element of defense along with everybody else.
Okay, yards per game. What division has the 3 stingiest defense in yards per game in the NFL? Anybody guess?
I'm gonna guess the San Diego Chargers.
That's not a division.
Ha!
You said team.
You said team.
He said.
You didn't
You
say
said-
it.
That's it. All right, so I'll give you. All right, San Diego
Mute yourself.
is the only team.
Yeah, just mute yourself. Okay, let's just go to a commercial
I
break.
just
I'll
muted
take
you.
over from here. We'll be back.
The San Diego Chargers is the only team in yards per game in the top 5 in both offense and defense. There's a stat for you, and they're 5 and 6. Now, what division? To the question I meant to ask, what division has 3 of the top 5 defenses in yards per game allowed?
AFC West. Broncos, Chiefs, and Chargers easily. I mean, they might have the Raiders who, they're a football team, but they're not a great defense.
I'm gonna go with the NFC East.
That is correct. Number 1, Dallas. Number 2, Philly. And number 4, Washington.
Really?
Their
Really?
offense just sucks. Have you been
So-
paying attention, Chandler?
On that note,
RG3
on that note, we're gonna go to a commercial break. We're gonna come back with the Thunder Round because thunder always follows lightning.